Hello, welcome to Have a Tea with me. My name is Chris. We are here to have English language practice. We are here for you if you want to practice your English speaking and English conversation skills. So if you're an English language learner, this is the place for you. In a moment, I'll put a link into the chat. So if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, you can click on that link and you can join the live stream, have a chat, have a conversation about whatever you like to chat about. Let me just do that now. So click on this link to join the conversation, I guess is a common thing that you see around the place. But anyway, okay, so I'll put that in the chat now. Now, if you're on Twitter, you won't see that, so you need to go to one of those other three platforms: Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, to see that. But yeah, so we're here for English language conversation. So whatever you want to chat about, if you just want general sort of chit chat, if you like, or chat about topics of the day and that sort of stuff, we can do that. Or if there's something in particular that you need to practice, maybe you've got a situation coming up about something you need to practice, we can do that as well. Or just any sort of, maybe there's some words or topics that you need to practice, and we can certainly look at that as well. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. I mean, it's a pretty simple idea, I guess, really, isn't it? So yeah, we're here Monday to Friday at around about 12 o'clock Universal Time to chat with you. And we do thank you for joining us here. Yeah, that's about it. So when this stream is going out in most of the world, it is Wednesday. It's the 20th of April already, 20th of April. So yes, how's your April gone already? It seems like almost only yesterday it was the end of March, and we're almost at the end of April. So time is ticking, isn't it? I guess it's always like that when you look backwards. You know, when you're going forwards, maybe it's a bit slower, but when you're going backwards, time seems to be going really, really quickly. So yes, how is your April? Are you doing anything special in April? Have you done anything special in April? I know there's lots of religious festivities and activities. So I know lots of people are doing Ramadan. Lots of people have been doing Easter activities in the last week as well. So, but to name just two. Let's say. To name just two. Well, actually, no, it's a full stop, isn't it? Or, let's say to name but two. So basically, with those, we're just saying that there's many more that we could list, but we're only gonna give you the names of two of the ones. Now, you can say that because you know the names of the other ones, or you can say that because you know there are other ones, but you just can't remember the name, or you don't want to say the name. Could be an option as well. So as I was saying, this is Have a Tea with me, 12 o'clock Universal Time, every day, Monday to Friday. We are here for English language conversation and speaking practice for English language learners. If you're watching this on the replay, hello. You may be thinking 12 o'clock Universal Time is not great for you. You can always send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world, your time zone, and we can see if we can find a time that is better for you, and we can see if we can find a mutually agreeable time, I guess would be the way to say it. Yes, absolutely. So send us a message. Let us know where you are, when to chat, all that sort of stuff. Okay. And of course, as we always say, so even though like I write some notes about different things that are said, uh, when you know at the end of the day, if you like, or at the end of the session, when you go, oh, okay, I want to try and remember those words. I always suggest try and only pick maybe 4 or 5 words that are perhaps the most relevant. You can have others maybe have like a secondary list that you look at after, but try and focus on maybe 4 or 5 words that are perhaps a higher priority for you to learn for whatever reason. Take those words and actually practice using them. So speaking and writing using those words. So you actually you have to actively use them. So not just reading them, not just sort of saying them in your head, but using them is really, really important. Really important. And then you do that every day, effectively. So the end of a week, you could have between 25 and 35 words, depending on how many you're doing each day. But you need to try and use those new words each day, and of course reusing some of the older ones as they are necessary. It's always trying to use them in a context that's appropriate. Okay, I'm still on the lemongrass tea. It's a beautiful tea. Like I was saying the other day, it's nice. I like that. The other day, as I was saying, well, you could say as I said, but as I was saying the other day, and then you continue whatever it was the other day, because I can't remember what day it was, basically. So we can say the other day. So I was saying the other day, I'm thinking this lemongrass and the maca tea, I think are my two favorite flavors at the moment for teas. Okay, now it's only me here at the moment, so of course I just chat with myself when there's no one else here. So what I always promote people to try and do is, if they're not sure about what to say in a situation, think of the question words. Think of the question words and what question can I ask about whatever it is that is the topic, or creating the conversation, whatever it is you want to speak about. So maybe it's a picture, maybe it's an article or a story, something you read, something you heard, a piece of information. Could be a painting, could be a pamphlet that you see. Think of those question words and try and ask questions about that, and then dive deeper into whatever it is that you're looking at. To dive deeper like that. To dive deeper into a topic or subject or whatever it may be. Or some people will say to deep dive, you can say as well, is the same thing. So let's have a look at looking at a few different sort of like news sites and information sites. Now, in terms of like the accuracy or usefulness of all of these sites in terms of news as such, I don't know. That's up to you to make your own opinion, or to form your own opinion about that. But I guess we're just looking at different sort of possibilities that you can use, because the point we're talking about here is giving opinions and looking at language and perhaps vocabulary, groups of words, and then how we can perhaps utilize them or comment from them and that sort of stuff. So this page is called Vox. Now I don't know definitely where they're based, but I'm just guessing from the types of stories that they have, that they're American, just because the story on the left is talking about midterms, and then the title here that's going crime will affect. I can't really highlight that. Okay, so crime will affect the midterms, but not in the way you think. So midterm as generally an American thing during the middle of a presidency. They have midterm elections, and then it talks about Democrats. So that's the first giveaway. They're talking about something with a judge related to Donald Trump, and then a picture. I'm going to guess this picture is somewhere in America, mainly because in the back it's talking about something. There's an ad. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's an ad with Colorado something. So that's another piece of evidence, shall we say, to lead me to believe this is American. And then it's talking about Netflix. Not necessarily Netflix has to be American, I guess, because it's around the world. But the way that it sort of talks, and then as I scroll further down the page, it's very American focused with the stuff that they're talking about. So I mean, it's obviously it's not a problem. I always think it's a good thing to get a range if you can. So like, it depends on your priority. Maybe your focus is on British, the British usage of the language, the way they sound when they're speaking, and that sort of thing. Because perhaps you're for work, or you want to study in Britain or something like that. So your focus is there, or perhaps the same thing with America or another country. And absolutely, those are good options if that's your focus. Yeah. So it depends on what your priority is. But yeah, I guess in a more general sense, I also think it's good because many countries these days, not just let's say the English-speaking countries, many other countries have English websites available. I guess I'm thinking mainly of news websites, but there could be other types of websites as well. Even just company websites, it could be for different things. And of course, so I mean, you could use anything, even if it's like a blog or something, you can use those as well. You can use any sort of website effectively. So it's I think a really good thing. So for example, maybe you could one day say, okay, I'm going to use a website from South Africa. Next day, I'm going to use a website from Vietnam. Next day, I'm going to use a website from Brazil. Next day, I'm going to use a website from Germany. Next day, I'm going to use a website from Russia, and whatever. And then what you can do, I guess, one thing is you can see different perspectives, perhaps, for different things. You see perhaps what's important for those websites, at least, in those countries. So maybe what could be topical stories, particularly if you're looking at news websites. So topical stories is nice. So topical. So topical stories from different countries and websites. The topical, of course, is talking about different topics. So they have different topics, can be important in different parts of the world. So for example, if you have, sometimes like when people die, of course, or when maybe there's like a sporting match or an election, or I don't know, different sorts of events happen in different countries. They may have focus, maybe even only like for a day or two, on different events that's of a bigger priority in those countries that you may not see in other places. So I think it's good to, I don't know, it's like a way of traveling in a way, if you know what I mean. So here we can see Okay, so different things. So we're talking about, it looks like it's a mix of politics. Here we're talking about food. Okay, so one good thing, garlic. Perfect. So maybe one good thing is the topic. Or maybe there's like a blog inside this web page. It's got garlic, a perfect food, the fiery vegetable I almost forgot. Okay, and then it's okay. What I like about this photo is that it's not saying this is just a picture of garlic. This is a garlic in southwest France. So very specifically where it is. That's fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if that garlic looks necessarily different from other garlic. I think it's sort of pretty much the same. Now, there's a question. Do you use garlic? I think, because I know a lot of people don't like necessarily sometimes people don't like the taste. Sometimes people don't like the smell. Personally, I don't necessarily mind either, depending on if I can get ventilation. Sometimes if the smell lingers, it's nice. We get a bit of the cranberry sort of vibe there. If the smell lingers, and which smell, I'm going to clarify that. So the smell of garlic lingers, it can be unpleasant, let's say, not nice is the idea. Smell lingers, it can be unpleasant. Yeah. So lingers is like to, I would say, it's like to hang around, to stay in a place. So imagine if you have the doors closed and all that sort of stuff, and when you're cooking with garlic and cutting garlic, there's the smell, the aroma of the garlic. So the aroma of garlic is in the air around you, and the ventilation. Ventilation. What have I done? Ventilation. Okay. So the ventilation is poor or not good, or for whatever reason. It can be unpleasant, not nice. Yeah, so there's no air going through to change the air in the place. I think it can be not nice. But I think for me, the thing I like least about garlic, I don't know, you tell me, the thing I like least about garlic is if you actually touch it. I think if you touch it, like I was saying with the smell in the air, I find the smell on the fingers can linger a lot longer than you want to, and at a stage, and then you have to wash your hands for, I don't know, for me, I have to find it takes a long time to wash the hands to get that garlic smell off. And so I find that, well, I guess annoying would be the word, just that, that it takes that time. It's not just like dirt that you can wash off quickly. So, okay, so this story is talking about garlic. Okay, so that's what this blog is about. One good thing, recommendations from the world of culture we think you should check out. Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. It could well be, if you like or don't like this website, perhaps this one particular part could be interesting. Seems to be very topical for different days. They've got lots of different topics, so that's not a bad thing. Interestingly, I'm not sure you can see there, I think on the top right here, they've got this give. I guess they're asking for donations if people want to support this web page. It's always an interesting thing, isn't it? When I guess the question when you have places, let's say, as a general thing, places. So in this case, it could be a website or a news or an information site, but it could be other types of sites as well. How do you feel if a place is asking for a donation? I mean, it's Is it a rude thing, do you think, or do you expect things to be for free, or is it nice that they ask, because then maybe you have the feeling that they're more independent, they're not influenced by I don't know, corporations or whatever, and it's more independent perhaps. Karima, how are you today? Good afternoon, where you are. Good. I am fantastic, Karima. I am fantastic. It's a great day. Got my cup of tea here, and chilling, talking about or exploring this website. I'm not really familiar with this website, so I'm just I guess reviewing and looking at this website, seeing what's available. How are you, Karima? What's happening in your part of the world? Of course, I guess that's the thing. So that's the beauty of the world, isn't it? So we do highlight. So in most of the world, it's the 20th of April. That's the wonderful thing, isn't it? So some places it's the morning, some it's the afternoon, some it's the night, and all that sort of thing. So I think that's one, and some places as well. So primarily at the moment, say New Zealand and some of the Pacific Islands are already on Thursday. They're already doing Thursday. You're doing well. That's great. That's great. So tell me, Karima, what's new in your part of the world, Karima? Any events happening? Any I don't know, any moments, any news, any activities of interest? I'm wondering, in your part of the world, do they use I was going to say, do they use garlic? There we go. Okay, we've got the answer straight away. Garlic is used there in dishes. And is it like, because I know in some places, or some people, I guess it's more well than some people use garlic in everything. They just think it's like it's an essential sort of thing. That's like some people, it's like essential. Like if they have a salad, there has to be like lettuce and tomato. If there's no lettuce and tomato, it's not a salad for some people. But I guess the question is how much is used. We can see here in this at the beginning of this paragraph. So French cuisine uses plenty of garlic. It's a nice use of the language there. Plenty meaning a lot. That's good. And of course, we can use plenty in a few different ways, isn't it? It's like if someone goes, oh, that's, if someone's giving you a drink or helping you like dish some food onto a plate or something, you go, is that sufficient? Yeah, that's plenty. Say that's enough. Okay, just finished your class. It's so windy. Okay, where that's the class is your. I think if I remember your tutoring classes. Is that am I remembering right? Well, I could be remembering wrong. My memory is not the best. But if I remember, I think you tutor some classes. Is it good? Are you happy with the wind? That it's so windy? Because I don't know. Sometimes I guess it depends what you're doing. It's like the rain. You tell me, because it's like with the rain and the wind, I sort of have the opinion if I don't have to do much, I enjoy it. Like if I can just, well, especially if I don't have to work, I don't mind going out in the rain, that sort of stuff. Like if I don't necessarily have to be presentable, let's say, if I can get wet and whatever, that's not a big deal. Okay. So the memory served me well on that occasion. So you're tutoring. Okay, that's good. But if I don't have to do anything where like I have to be presentable, let's say. I don't mind the rain, and I love listening to the rain. I think listening and watching the rain is nice. Always I guess most people like, if, no matter how I guess we may think of it, but I think that most people like rainbows. Seeing a rainbow is a nice sort of magical phenomena in the world. I'm not sure if phenomena is maybe technically the right word. Maybe they say it's just a natural event or something, but I think it's a nice special thing to see. And it's the same with the wind. If I don't have to go outside, I like listening to the wind. But of course, if the wind's causing destruction and that sort of thing, it's obviously not a good thing. And then similarly, if you're going out, the wind can be very frustrating if it's, messing up the hair or that sort of thing. Or if you're at somewhere like the beach, of course, I think the wind can be very annoying because you don't want to be laying on the beach and the wind is blowing up all the sand into your face and eyes and everything. It's annoying. You prefer rainy weather to windy weather. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yes. I guess if there's a preference, yeah, I guess rain is more tolerable in a general sense. Everything in moderation, like things in normal. But yes, certainly, it's I guess much easier. I have to say, when if I'm I particularly remember when I was at school, I used to love running when it was windy because you could have that little feeling of not exactly weightlessness, but just sort of almost like you're flying, only like for a brief portion of a second. But like if it's really windy and you're going like at or close to the full pace, I guess, that you can go, it sort of, I don't know, it can push you along. I quite used to like that sensation, just for that, those brief moments where it would push you along a little bit extra. But sometimes that happens anyway, I guess, if you're walking down a street or something, you can get like that extra push. I'm walking very fast today. When you're steaming down the street with the wind at your back. Okay, I guess we're agreeing. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I think I find this interesting as well. I'm not sure where you live, Karima, but in Sydney, the way that they construction has happened, and they have some of the buildings, some streets, and you learn just from using them, some streets turn into wind tunnels. Let's get that down. So some streets have turned into wind tunnels. So you can imagine the wind just streaming through. So it might even just be like a light breeze or almost nothing. Like if you're out in the open, it's sort of nothing, but because of I'm not sure the technical names, but like the way that everything is constructed and the height of the buildings and everything sort of working together and adding up, shall we say, it just pushes the air through these particular streets, and you just know, you prepare yourself. As soon as I, enter or go into this corner or around this corner, it's just going to be like whoosh, and the wind's going to hit me. And it's funny, I used to experience that in some streets. Just like every time you go on the street, it's like whoosh. Maybe it's just always like a particular time of the day or something, but that was always a curious thing. But I'm not sure if that. I'm assuming that happens in a lot of places, particularly if there are tall buildings that has like a column for the air to go down, or a column might be a corridor, might be a better word for that. Okay, looking at this article again, and this is interesting. This is why it's good, I think, to explore different sort of like blog posts and stuff. It's just even if you only read a few paragraphs. So it could be like a really, and I don't know how long this blog is. Well, reasonably long, not the longest, but reasonably long. But if you like, even if you just read a couple of paragraphs, and maybe with that you lose some of the context of some stories, but looks like with this you can, like, every paragraph seems to have like its own little thing, let's say, but you can always get some type of language or construction or way of writing from most things that can be useful to practice if you're a learner of English. So certainly I think it's a very good, very positive thing to look at blogs and different types of writing. And this is the thing. So even if you only have like a few minutes, maybe say, okay, I've got 4 or 5 minutes to practice English. I'm gonna check out this blog post and read a couple of paragraphs and see what I can pick up. So like we said, maybe you pick up like a couple of words or a combination of words to use, and that's a good thing, I would suggest. So if we explore this, and now here we've got the classic of course. Okay, so of course meaning everyone knows this. Now I don't know about you, I think of course gets used too much. I hear people using of course all the time, and I don't know, I think it gets overused, because I think when you use of course it's saying we should know that, but it's like, if I don't know that, I don't know how I should feel. Should I feel like silly or stupid because I didn't know that? I don't know, but I think it gets overused, but sometimes of course it can be used. Okay, so French cuisine uses plenty of garlic, of course, and increasingly more of it as you head south. I like this. I think this is a good use of a verb. Now, of course, it's far more common to think of head and to use head if you're thinking of the noun. Okay, my head is on top of my body, or whatever, the top part of my body. But I think this is somewhat, let's say, somewhat common. Let's get that down. I like somewhat. I think somewhat is a good word to use if you want to be like sitting on the fence, if you like, or in the middle. Somewhat common. Somewhat common to use head. Yeah. So to head somewhere. And I would say it's like very common for someone to go, I'm heading over to the shops. Do you need anything? And you say, oh yeah, can you get me an ice cream? Or can you get some milk? Or can you get me like a cola? Or something like that. But it's like heading, yeah, I'm going in the direction. Or, of course, some people could also say, I know I've used, of course, myself there, didn't I? But some people will say, I'm heading off. I'll see you later. See you tomorrow. So to head off is like to go. So head as a verb is a quite interesting thing to use. And as I say, it's not necessarily uncommon. It's not, I say not uncommon. You won't hear it all the time, but you will hear it. So Karina was saying, yes, we use it here. We put garlic with an omelette in the breakfast. It's an antibiotic. Okay, I believe that, and perhaps that's even what this article is perhaps highlighting as well. I guess it's going to be talking about the medicinal value, like as a medicine, the medicinal value of garlic. But I tell you what, Karima, you're making me feel hungry there because I love a good omelette. And what's a good omelette? I don't know. Just maybe any omelette is a good omelette. That could be the way. What sort of? I'm curious. I think it's tested my memory again. I think you're in Morocco. Is that right, Karima? You're in Morocco, and wherever you are, what do you put in your omelets? Because I know different places do omelets in different ways. So they have like slight variation. So there could just be, let's say, a plain omelette, and that plain omelette could have extra things in it. So I know, for example, in Spain, they have I guess, the potato omelette or Spanish omelette. Um, and that's very common. So you may get like potatoes, onion, um, and that sort of thing. Um, but but I know, like in other places, it's just literally just the egg, and they may just put like a bit of salt and that sort of thing. I actually think omelette is probably, if I had to think of a breakfast, I suppose I have omelets at other times as well, but I have to think of a breakfast. It's probably number 2 on my list for a breakfast. Okay, so let's have a look. So yeah, okay. So yes, you're in Ramadan, I guess. Okay, so you're fasting and living in Fez, Morocco. Okay, okay. So I don't know what. Oh, you said it's the afternoon, so I'm not sure what time the sun goes down. Let me ask you a question, Karima, if I can. So I believe, if I understand correct, so Ramadan, the fasting is from sunrise to sunset. If I understand, that's the way I think. Well, some people have told me. But when the sun sets, you also have twilight. Let me get this up there. So you have twilight. So you still have, the sun is down, so like the sun is under the horizon, let's say, but you still have some light, and that's the twilight. So is that a time when you can break the fast, or does the light have to be completely gone? Has to be dark, essentially. If that's if something you can answer for me. Okay, so, and also just for the beginning there, so be to head off. So I will, or let's say I'm heading off to the shops. Heading off to the shops. Do you need anything? I guess is the type of question. So just to make sure it's head off. Yeah, so the phrasal verb to head off. And I guess also to head off could also mean like to try and go to block something off, could also be used in different contexts. But in this context, is just to go somewhere. So OFF, because head of, for example, head of is a different thing, because this is of as opposed to of. So for example, let's say the head of, it's really covered, but so that the head of state in, I don't know too many, so I'm just going to do something that I know. The head of state in okay, I was going to say the UK, but in England is, let's say, Queen Elizabeth II. The head of state in England is Queen Elizabeth II. So But you also have like, this is the head of my body as well. So that's just to be the difference between off and of, because you will see both, yeah, to head off and head of something. Okay, so there it's from, okay, so you got the time. So it's the I guess the official sunset time, I guess. Okay, so 4:25 a.m. until 7:05 p.m. Okay. So you're waiting 6 hours to finish to take. Now this is interesting, I guess, because this is the real use of the word breakfast, isn't it? This is the real use, because breakfast, we think of breakfast as in the morning, and because in the morning or in the night we sleep, and of course when we're sleeping we're not eating, and so we're fasting by definition, and so we go to so then we wake up or whatever, and then we eat breakfast because we're breaking the fast. And so even though you say breakfast and the time of having breakfast is dinner time, it is a real breaking of the fast. So but I also suppose in the order of meals that you're having, I guess that's breakfast, and perhaps if you eat a little bit later, I'm not sure. Do you have 2 meals or 3 meals? I've heard sort of like from a few people, they tend to have like a meal when they finish, or is it like when the sun's gone down, and then they have a meal just before the sun goes up, and then they go back to sleep or something. So they tend to have 2 meals, but I guess everyone can do their own thing. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so that's a head off and head off. Okay, head off and the head. Oh, okay, but the head of is 1F is the key point, as opposed to 1F and 2Fs. So in Arabic we say breakfast. I don't know if we say for the fasting situation. Okay. Well, I'm just thinking of the actual, because some words in English, and of course it depends on where they come from originally, but some words in English are very literal, and others are more, well, wishy-washy, shall we say, in terms of understanding, wishy-washy, so unclear. It's like, and that's like when we talk about things like phrasal verbs and idioms and that sort of stuff. If there's an idiomatic meaning, you can't necessarily get the meaning from the just from looking at the word or the expression or whatever the case may be. But in the case of breakfast, it is literally breaking the fast. So, but that's interesting. It's I guess it's an interesting use of the language, because if you look at the definition of breakfast, I guess in most dictionaries, I'm guessing, I haven't seen it right now, but I'm guessing is going to be a meal you have in the morning. That's going to be most people's definition of breakfast. A meal you have in the morning, and that's, in this case, it's absolutely correct to use, but it's not following that definition. So maybe there's 2 definitions in the dictionary. So a meal you have after not eating for a while could be it as well. Okay, so well, we're actually gonna have to head off very soon. And we'll finish off with this article. But I think if you this is not actually a bad website to use. I don't know. It looks like in this website there's a lot of opinion and that sort of thing. So I don't necessarily know if there's any particular angle or whatever with the opinion. But if I guess you can't judge everything just from one thing, but certainly just from, I guess, a brief view of this article. It seems certainly this blog, the One Good Thing blog, seems to be quite a good read, and I think a very useful thing to read. So why not? We might have a look at this on another occasion as well. So absolutely, unfortunately, we will have to go for today. Just a reminder that this is Have a Tea with Me. I'm drinking the lemongrass tea today, and it has been very soothing. I am enjoying the lemongrass. Like I've said a couple of times, the lemongrass and the maca tea have been really my favorites at the moment. Really, really nice teas. Anyway, so yes, Have a Tea with Me every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time. So we're here for English language conversation practice, speaking practice. There is, you will see, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you will see the link in there. And you can always, while we're doing the live stream, you can always click on the link, come on through and chat live. If you're feeling comfortable and you're ready, and we're here to hopefully give you a bit of confidence speaking English and practicing English is what we're here for. And as you'll see, sort of scrolling down the bottom as well, if this is not the best time for you, you can always send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are in the world, what time zone you're in, and we can see if we can arrange a time that is perhaps better for you to do a live stream and have a chat and practice about just general topics, or chat about a particular topic or practice, a situation, whatever the case may be for you. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for your participation. Thank you very much, Karima. Thank you for your comments and participation today. Thank you to everyone who's liking, following, subscribing, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Stay healthy and happy. Have a great day. See you later.